Right, we are going into set number 3, and it looks like it is going to be Brave versus Crazy-Hydra on Neo Chain Reaction. This is, of course, Brave's favorite map. He gets he gets sent out on this map like all the time. Although, wait a minute, did he play on this map yesterday? He didn't play yesterday, did he? No, actually, Shine came out on this map yesterday. It's interesting because, you know, in the SPL predictions thing, in the SPL news post for the playoffs, there's a really nice prediction written by a KWJCW thing, where he was saying like, January keeps sending Brave out on Chain Reaction, and he's got a really nice record on this map. He's like the PvP guy. I think he's like 4-1, 5-1 PvP this season. Most of which I think have been on this map. But then, it becomes a little bit predictable, and I don't think his PvZ is very good, so if you send out a Zerg to snipe him, as we're seeing here, it could be quite effective. We actually saw Action come out yesterday on this map, perhaps thinking about taking out Brave, but hit Shine instead and lost. So yeah, let's see what Brave can do here. Crazy-Hydra, on the other hand, actually lost to Grape yesterday, which was a huge surprise, I think, to most people at least. Grape, of course, was doing terribly in the regular season, like 1-5 or something, whereas Crazy-Hydra, as you can see, is 8-2, 4-1 against Protoss, and yet Grape busted out some good Sayle Reaver control and took him out. It's actually a really intense game. And oh man, the Kiet trolling is continuing in the stream chat. Kiet's not even here, guys. Oh manner. It's all Folon's fault. Folon. Where is Folon even here? He's here. It's his fault. Ah, it's terrible. Anyway, here we go. Game number 2. And I should probably change the overlay. Alright. Brave and Crazy-Hydra. I always want to abbreviate it to CH, but then I get confused, because then that makes me think of the old school player Chura, or CHRH, if anybody knows what I'm talking about. I don't actually know how you're supposed to pronounce his name, but Cholera always called him Chura, so I'm going to go with that. Anyway, looks like Crazy-Hydra will be the Teal Zerg here on the left, Brave will be the Purple Protoss on the right, and he's got to be very careful. There are a lot of different cheeses that Zerg can do on this map. Of course, there is the mineral only, or sorry, the back door that's kind of blocked by a 40 mineral patch, I believe, and also a neutral temple. And there is the weird version of that cheerful with the KT coach on it. I seriously don't. I need somebody to explain that cheerful to me. Why do they have blushing cheeked KT players / coach? Wait, who is that supposed to be? Wait, what? Oh man, that's some sick drawing skills, but I actually could not tell who that was supposed to be. That guy, he had a good pose. Was that supposed to be Brave? Brave's nickname, by the way, in case anybody didn't know, is Male Toss. Or I think it's also translated as Macho Toss, like as opposed to Female Toss. Because Man Toss is obviously taken, so they gave him the next best thing, which is Male Toss. Oh, so sad, so sad. Turn was even talking about it in his interview, how like all the good nicknames are now taken. So he got some stupid nickname too, like Rabid Dog Terran or something. That's actually not that bad, honestly. I thought that was quite cool, Rabid Dog Terran, but apparently he didn't like that much. I don't know. And Token White Girl, OMG. Honestly, if you're a white girl and you go to SPL, you should not be surprised to be on camera. It's like auto camera time. It's so unfair. Anyway, it looks like oh, was that a blind 11x? I wasn't even paying attention. Is there a probe anywhere? Oh no, there's a probe in the base. Whoa, I was... Okay, you know what? I'm not even gonna try to call what exactly the opening builds were. I was not at all looking at the game. I mean, you know, we have all the standard things. First expansion for Crazy-Hydra being taken at the 630-ish base. You got a Nexus, we got a wall in here with the Forge and the Gateway, we got one cannon up. All good stuff. Looks like he's actually pulled 3 probes here. He's a little bit nervous. I think he saw 6 Lings on the way. 1 cannon is a little bit iffy when you're facing 6 Zerglings. So he's just going to leave the probies there to block. Okay, looks like it's actually 5. There's probably 1 chasing the scouting probe around in the main base. So, yeah, it's not ideal to have to leave these 3 probes here, but obviously you don't want to lose any kind of silly Ling bust at this point in the game. Especially since, like, Wookiee lost to a drone rush on this map in the playoffs already. That's gotta put some fear in the Protoss hearts. So it looks like he has sent, or he's left 2 there now. Sent one of those guys back to mining. And I think we're gonna go into a fairly standard mid game. Well, at least it depends. I guess does Crazy-Hydra want to do a 3-hatch Hydra, or is he just gonna get a lair? Let us see. He's still got a probe in his main base. And looks like he has got a lair just at his main as well, so I'm pretty sure that probe saw that. So yeah. Brave will note that it's not, in fact, the oh-so-popular 3-hatch Hydra that we've been seeing so much nowadays. I mean, it is perhaps possible that Crazy-Hydra might actually cancel that lair and do a sudden switch into Hydra Bust, but I don't think he will. That would be quite intelligent, actually, though. So that is probably a Stargate there. It's being constructed. Looks like second gas being taken as well. Yep, there it is. Stargate on the way. Let's see if he actually goes for like mass Sayers, +1 Sayers. That is pretty popular on this map. I think it's a good idea. The air distance between the mains is pretty short. Zergs oftentimes go for the Mutalisks, so getting a bunch of +1 Sayers is pretty good. Looks like scouting probe. Is that actually the same scouting probe? Is that the same one that's been alive this whole time, or did he actually send a second one? I think that actually might be the same one. I'm not too sure. It looks like this sign is, or rather, this fan is trying to make an interesting sign. Wasn't even finished yet, and we got a camera shot on this. This is like the second or third time we've seen this now. Like, I think yesterday we saw a sign, a cheerful in production, like someone was drawing it on their iPad or whatever. Camera guy's being a little bit BM, not letting him finish it properly. Anyway, the Subnetics core is spinning. That's +1 air weapons, so it is going to be a Corsair focus, as I said earlier. And let's see what Crazy-Hydra does in response. He could still go Muta and Scourge and just try and fight Brave for air control, or he could just, you know, make a bunch of Hydras and control his overlords properly and just kind of sidestep the Corsairs entirely. Looks like his Spire is about to pop here. The Corsair just gonna poke around, see what's going on. Gonna see nothing out of the ordinary, and should probably run away now so it doesn't get scourged. When you are going for this you know, the mass Corsair focus, you really want to keep your first couple of Corsairs alive. It's not just a matter of, you know, you don't want to lose a Corsair to Scourge, but getting those numbers up earlier on is very important, because you really need 5 or 6 Corsairs to be able to move out safely, because that's the number where they can start, you know, one-shotting Scourge. So basically, if you lose any of your initial Corsairs, that just delays when you move out with them and can start harassing overlords and whatnot. Anyway, looks like a couple of gateways being added as well. Standard. And scouting Scourge. Gonna see what's going on. We have an Archives as well. I think normally, like, if you weren't going for Corsairs, he'd have an extra gateway or 2 now. Before that Archives was finished, but obviously, having gone for these Corsairs, he only had 1 completed gateway along with the Archives, so maybe you're going to make 1 DT. Yep, there we go. It's going to poke around a little bit. It shouldn't really do any damage. I'm sure Brave has, Crazy-Hydra has his Overlords positioned nicely. Just going to try and find an opening, but I don't think he'll be too aggressive with it. You know, could also clear out any random Zerglings on the middle of the map as well. Very useful. And it looks like Brave has decided he has enough Corsairs now, so he's going to move out. He's got to be a little bit careful. It looks like he only has 4, actually. That's not enough to one-shot Scourge. So I'm a little bit surprised by that. And oh, it looks like he actually does try to run his DT in, but just gets trapped by these Zerglings. That is not a very good use of that Dark Templar. I think he got a little bit over-eager there. It's possible Crazy-Hydra intentionally lured him in there. It looks like the Zerglings actually came from behind. But, I mean, either way, he has Overlord speed, so he's not really in any danger from that. It looks like a lot of Scourge actually flying around trying to catch these Corsairs. He's kind of letting them fan out a little bit. And yeah, look at that, splitting them up. You don't want your Scourge to be all clumped up when you engage Corsairs, obviously because of the splash damage from the Corsairs will just kill all your Scourge at once. You want to come in, you know, try and get a surround off on the Corsairs, have all your Scourge split up. I think that was Stork in the middle, Shine on the right, and random guy on the left who, I don't know. Kiet didn't even recognize him either, so, you know, in my defense, it's not just because I'm, very unknowledgeable. Does that mean a word? I know you can be knowledgeable. Can you be unknowledgeable? Or is it just like, I'm not knowledgeable? I'm going to go with unknowledgeable, because that sounds better. It's probably wrong, but I like it. I like how it sounds. Anyway, I think was that another Dark Templar that just got sniped? I think that wasn't paying attention. Meanwhile, wow, adding 2 more cannons in the main base. Brave is actually a little bit concerned by this mass Muta Scourge flock. You know, as I said, Crazy-Hydra, even though he sees these +1 Corsairs, can certainly try and wrest air control away from Brave. I mean, you know, probably the most famous game where we saw that was Jelizark versus Best in, I think it was in OSL Finals, where Best goes +1 Corsairs on Andromeda, and like that map was... Anyway, hold on, I'm gonna reminisce more in a second here, because Crazy-Hydra's moving into the main here. The Muta's taking down all the cannons in the main base, and the Scourge warding away the Corsairs here. They're like 50 Scourge there, and Brave doesn't know what to do. He can't engage with the Corsairs, or else he just gets Scourged to pieces, and it looks like, oh man, he's trying to save his main base. He's got like 8 Corsairs. Whoa, nice Ice Storm, getting a clump of the Scourge there. Nice dodging by Crazy-Hydra, though. Manages to minimize the losses, but man, I think he's done so much damage in the main base already. Brave, not in the best position here. Wow. That was really exciting, but anyway, yeah. The game I was talking about now was just, you know, Jelizark versus Best. I think it was set 3 on Andromeda. Guys should go check that out if you haven't, if you want to watch a little piece of Brood War history. That entire series was actually amazing. And whoa, another storm there, catching a lot of the Mutas and the Scourge as well. It looks like there's only 3 or 4 Mutas left, actually. A billion Scourge, but I think with those good storms, it's going to be difficult now for Crazy-Hydra to keep being aggressive with these Mutas. But the question is whether the damage has already been done. I would say that it has. However, that was a significant investment for Crazy-Hydra. He's moving the Scourges in now, and oh my god, never mind. He still had enough Scourge to do a little bit of damage. Looks like a few Dragoons coming along to support these Corsairs. And, I mean, Crazy-Hydra just needs to survive this counterattack, because what I was saying was those, you know, Muta and Scourge are not cheap. Muta in particular, very expensive units. I mean, that's why usually, you know, you make a clump of them. You make, you know, 9 or 10 or 11 Mutas, and you try and do fancy things like Templar sniping and whatnot. But doing this kind of big head-on engagement is generally not very cost efficient. You're gonna be very careful with how you use these Mutas. I mean, he's got a few control groups of Hydras now, but you know, he's not gonna have any lurkers for a while. He spent all his gas on these Mutas and Scourge. And it's going to be, well, I mean, I actually don't see any High Templar with the army. I was going to say it's also going to be difficult for him to snipe High Templars with all those Corsairs there, but there's actually no High Templars for him to snipe. It looks like maybe a couple there. I mean, he already got, you know, baited out 2 storms earlier on. Is Brave just like being a little bit defensive here with his Templars? He's got to be a little bit careful how he moves out. I mean, if Crazy-Hydra does like a good Hydra flank or something, you could snipe a couple High Templars for free. So until Brave gets out a decent number of units, he's got to be careful with these Templars. Yeah, it looks like he's actually just left them all as natural, and he's pumping out a ton of Dragoons here. It's interesting because he's got a lot of gateways in his main, but he was kind of posturing to take his 3rd base at the 12:30-ish position there. But I wonder if that actually might be a fake. I wonder if he's just going to do a huge 2-base timing here and not expand at all. I mean, look at this. Everything he's showing Crazy-Hydra, it looks like, you know, he's trying to just secure this 3rd base, just doing a bit of light harassment. But in fact, he's got a pretty significant ground army here. I'm actually a little bit concerned for Crazy-Hydra. Or maybe I shouldn't be, considering I'm a Khan fan. But Yeah, here we go. Fourth High Templars coming out now. They're trailing a little bit. He's got to be careful to keep those alive. Looks like Brave gonna move down the side of the map. No, wait, is he going to cross the middle bridge? Okay, no, he's actually moving across the middle of the map here, and with a significant army. Looks like more Corsairs getting scourged, but there are so many Dragoons there. Now, there's a decent number of Hydras on the ground, but with good storms, that's not going to be enough, I don't think. There are still 4 High Templar left, and yeah, it looks like Brave is actually going to push through here. Crazy-Hydra falling back with his Hydralisk army. There are just so many units here. I think Crazy-Hydra probably a little bit surprised by this. He did not see all the units being saved up at the natural. He saw you know, the Zealots moving out to secure the third, and now, whoa, look at that huge storm on all the Overlords, in fact. That's not the most useful thing, but, I mean, I guess if you can kill all those Overlords, that'd be quite funny. Although, it looks like Crazy-Hydra has actually got enough production here. What on earth is going on? Wait, how did he actually have enough stuff to break this? 1 second, Brave is looking like he's going to break through and kill Crazy-Hydra, and the next second, Crazy-Hydra just comes in with 1,000,000 units. Oh my god, it looks like Brave actually didn't re-rally his gateways. He did a huge 2-base attack, and yet he didn't actually rally his gateways correctly, so his reinforcements were not arriving in time. And I think this brief little break here, this brief respite from the pressure, is going to give Crazy-Hydra the time that he needs to, you know, mass up a decent number of Hydras, reposition his units, and defend properly. I mean, it looks like Brave is now trying to take a third base, but Crazy-Hydra's fourth is already up, and I think he's actually in a really nice position here, even though I thought he was just going to die. Oh my goodness. Oh, Brave, Don't mess it up. Another storm going down, but nice dodging from Crazy-Hydra, trying to just minimizing the damage there. Any more storms? Looks like no more energy on the High Templars. No, there's another one, but still very good dodging from Crazy-Hydra here. Brave trying to keep the pressure on, but the supply counts are pretty close here, even though the Protoss should be ahead, and looks like Lurkers are out now, so that's going to be the end of that attack. Brave just now taking his third base, but Crazy-Hydra's fourth base is already running. This is actually not looking good at all for Brave. I mean, I can't believe that happened. Like, you know, Brave, he took a decent amount of damage earlier on from the Mutas, so, you know, I thought he was behind, but Crazy-Hydra, he had invested so much in the Muta Scourge, like, he did not have that many Hydras when Brave moved out, and yet, at the last second, it's like suddenly the tides turned. I gotta say, though, he has had pretty good storm dodging this game as well. He's only lost, like, 4 or maximum 5 Hydras per each Psionic Storm. And not taking any extra damage from that, so that's definitely helping him out here since he can't really get the snipes off. Anyway, it looks like Brave gonna move in here once again, and once again he's got a pretty scary looking army. Not quite as many Dragoons as he had before. He does have a lot of Zealots now, although there are Lurkers on the field, so actually now his composition is not really ideal for engaging here. And you know, the paths on this map are somewhat narrow-ish, so it's a little bit hard for him to like get a good wide arc, get a good position against those against these Lurker fields. Looks like Crazy-Hydra moving in, sniping a random High Templar. It looks like he's trying to get the Observer as well. He does snipe the Observer. Brave is going to move in anyway. Oh my god, Brave's taking so much damage on his Zealots. Looks like he's going to try and use his Psionic Storms to take down the Lurkers, but he only gets one of them, and the Muta's now doing so much damage. He only has a handful of Dragoons. Dragoons don't have the best DPS against Mutas due to the damage types, and you know, without the Corsairs there, Crazy-Hydra's actually managing to start sniping some of these Templars. There's actually 6 High Templar in that army. But, I mean, it's a completely blank storm. That looks like he's going to use one storm on the incoming Mutalisks, but he's going to lose almost all of his High Templars. No, it looks like all of the High Templars have gone down here, and this is an opportunity for Crazy-Hydra to actually move in with his army. Yeah, it looks like Brave is going to sacrifice that Archon, just going to move away. He knows he can't actually stand up to the mass Hydra force with pure Zealot Dragoon. You need the High Templar support there, or you will get run over. It looks like that is exactly what's happening. Crazy-Hydra actually now is just somersaulted into a 30 supply lead here. I don't even know when this happened, but Crazy-Hydra just rolling in with a mass Hydra force +2 Hydralisks. Just pure Hydra here. There's a few Lurkers in the back, but those are completely unnecessary. The KT bench cheering him on here. They know he is in a good position. And Brave has been forced all the way back to his natural here. Looks like another Observer getting sniped. Crazy-Hydra is going to move back, switch targets here, go after the third base. There's no way for Brave to save this, I don't think. Even if he has enough units to take out these Hydras, it's just not even going to be in time. And I actually don't think he has enough units. Looks like another nice Observer snipe by Crazy-Hydra. Brave losing his third base here, and the game is basically over now. He's down 40 supply. He's on two bases rather, to 4. Got no army. Damn. KT. Looking pretty beast. And it was like +2 done for Brave as well. He's gonna try and move out here. I mean, even if you can break this position, it doesn't matter. Look at that, he's just gonna GG anyway. And Crazy-Hydra takes the third set. KT Rolster now leads 2-1. Brave cannot be happy about that game. I mean, that attack, that timing, I thought was good, but well, it was not to be.
정말 떨릴만도 한데 그런 자리에서 임정현 선수가 아주 침착한 경기와 집중력 있는 경기로 잘 보여줬습니다. 뮤탈리스크와 스코지가 덮쳐